viewers, welcome back to my channel. Grace Peter here. I'm always glad and excited to have you in my video. So please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, because this is your only way to encourage me to keep posting content. And honestly, it goes a long way in helping my productivity spirit. So please do well to subscribe and also like my videos so that the YouTube algorithm can push it to as many people that might find this kind of content useful. So thank you and stay blessed. So in today's video, I'll be talking about things to avoid as a married woman. Once you're married as a woman, there are some things you ought not to get yourself involved, and there are some things you need to avoid. So the number one thing you need to avoid as a married woman is avoid borrowing money from other men. You see, anytime you borrow money from other men or a man that is not your husband, what you're actually doing is you are disrespecting your own husband. Because for you to go and meet another man to lend you money, it simply means that you are telling that man now that your own husband is not capable of taking care of you and the family needs, and also that your husband is not man enough. That is why you need their help. So avoid going to borrow money from other men. And listen, let me tell you, there is nothing like free money. No man will give you money for free, especially if you are a woman. Definitely that man is going to need something in return. So as a married woman, avoid borrowing money from them, because you would not want to tarnish your image, and you would not want to get involved in something that you will end up not liking. So if you need money so badly and you need money by all means at that point, I think it is even okay to speak to one or two members of your family and perhaps your siblings to see if they can help you with the money. But if you don't want to involve family members in that your financial issue at that point, I think it's even okay to. There are so many loan app that you can download in your phone and you borrow money. The only thing you're going to do is you pay interest. But I think paying interest is even better than going to meet a man that will still need something from you. So avoid borrowing money from men that are not your husband as a married woman. Please, that is the highest level of disrespect you will give to your own husband. So please avoid it. The second thing you should avoid as a married woman is spending a lot of time with other men. You are married, for God's sake. What is the point spending time with other men that are not your husband? You know, it doesn't speak well of you. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to take time or to sit with um gender of the opposite sex, but at least there is time for everything. There should be limits to some things. So if perhaps in your place of work, um you have a colleague that is of the opposite sex, and you are noticing some kind of chemistry happening in the office, I think it is okay to speak to your supervisor and give them a good and reasonable reason why you need a change of department. You know, so this brings me now to using myself as a case study in this particular point. So I can remember very vividly, sometime last year, they brought in my place of work where I work. They brought in a new boss for us, and when the man resumed work, just 2 to 3 weeks interval, the man started noticing me in the office, and me innocently I was just there, do my work and go to my house. But I didn't know that the man was already picking interest in me. So there was this day he called me to his office, and I went. He said I should sit. I sat down. He started talking. He said, I know you are married, because he knows definitely he has made one or two findings about me. So when he called me and started talking about he knows that I'm married, I was surprised initially. So he now said, I know you are married and I'm married also, but I want us to be friends. I want us to be friends. Okay, so when he started saying things like that, I already knew where he was driving at because I said this one. So I just waited for him to finish that thing he has in mind to say. I was just looking at him. So after he finished talking, he now asked me if I have anything to say. I said, yes, sir. He said, okay, go on. And I looked at him. I said, sir, with due respect, your wife would think now that you are in your office trying to work to bring home money, but she will not know now that you are here trying to ask another man's wife out. For God's sake, who does that? You know, the thing actually became irritating to me. I was not really feeling cool about it. When I said that, the man looked at me. He now said, sir, if I should agree to your proposal, if I should agree going out with you, or if I should agree having anything doing with you, what will I tell my husband? What will I tell my children? What will I tell my kids? You know, is there anything you want to give me now that will make me accept your proposal that my husband has not given me before? This man, I assure you, this man, he didn't say anything. I said, okay, we're just looking at him. For God's sake, there is nothing you will give me now. Is it money you want to give me? I have my money. My husband gives me money. So how much do you want to give me that will make me want to stoop so low by having anything to do with you? Honestly, this man was really shocked because he didn't see all of these things coming. He thought he was just going to use this boss power and speak to me like that and think I was going to agree. But he was disappointed at the end. So that was how the whole thing kept on in the office. The man would look at me. I would just, because I know what I want. I know what I want. So if I should agree to his proposal, what will I, especially my children, what will I tell my children? I will carry my children and I'll sit them down and I'll tell them, hey, my kids, sorry, I have something to do with another man that is not your father. How does it sound? Oh my God. So I was thinking of all of those things and I couldn't do it. In fact, there is no way I would want to do something like that, you know, involving myself with you. Then at the end of the day, I will be the one that will regret it as a woman because him that is a man, he will have nothing to lose. Yeah, so that was how this whole thing kept on. And only for me to resume work earlier this year, I got to the office that day and I was told that this man was transferred from my office to another place. In fact, that news actually, it sounded so peaceful in my heart because at some point it felt like this man just wanted to stress me in the office. Yeah, so I was so happy. You know, I didn't report him to anybody, to any my office authority. I only reported that man to God. I told my husband about it. I told my parents about it. Then I told God about it, and I'm happy and I was glad that the man was transferred. At least since he left the office, I've had my peace of mind. Yeah, so the man was transferred until today, and I can assure you that I'm very okay where I work now. So, and sometimes I will sit and I will ask myself, had it been I agreed to what this man was asking me for? So this is how this man would have gotten what he wanted. Then he will leave. Then as a woman, it's me now that will be regretting it because the place he has been transferred to now, he is definitely going to meet somebody else and still ask that person out. Then me now, I'll be in my husband's house and I'll be having regrets. No. So I was so glad that I didn't do anything like that. I didn't get myself involved in such kind of a thing because I know who I am. I know where I came from. I know the kind of person my parents are. And for the fact that I have kids and I have a husband, what will I gain doing such kind of thing? Yeah, so I was glad. And so what I'm trying to say in essence is if you're in your office, maybe in your office, you are noticing something like that, you should report it to the authority or you can report it to God. There is nothing too big for God to do. Yeah, so that was what happened. So if you are in your place of work and you're noticing things that you're not really cool with, I think you should speak it to one or two persons to see if there can be a change of department or shift or something like that. Yeah, so and as a married woman that you are, be careful of the kind of things you do with other men. Be careful of the way you relate yourself with other men. Because if you have a daughter, you are not going to find it funny. You understand? So, because if at all your daughter starts doing the kind of thing you're doing, I'm sure as a mother, you will not be able to advise her to stop, because you yourself, you are doing it. You know, it is not wrong to caution your child or your daughter or your children, but when you're doing something like that, ask yourself, this thing I'm trying to tell to my child or my daughter, am I doing same thing? Because definitely you cannot give out what you don't have. So be careful of the way you you relate with men. you know it is not a bad thing to relate with men, but there should be limit to something. Yeah, so avoid spending a lot of time with other men as a married woman. So that brings me to the third point. The third point now is avoid chatting with other men as a married woman. A man collected your number and started conversing your WhatsApp. You guys started talking. For God's sake, why will you be spend your precious time that you're supposed to be doing with other things? You're supposed to achieve something that will be beneficial to you. You will use the whole of that time to be chatting with another man that's not your husband. You know, when you chat with another man or men, what it means is you are gradually diverting your love and your attention from your husband to another man. Then before you know it, the man will start telling you things that your husband has never told you before. Before you know it, you're already falling into that trap, because women are moved by what they hear and not what they see. Women are moved by what they hear. So by the time a man starts telling you things now that have never been said, that your husband has never said to you before, you start falling in. You start having some kind of love interest towards that man. So please avoid it. It is not healthy for your marriage at all, as a married woman, to be chatting with other men. Please avoid it. It is not good for you. In fact, as a married woman, it is not good for your image, because it is definitely going to cost you a lot of things. So please avoid. That is why you have a husband. If you think or you feel you need to sit to talk one or two things that is bothering you, or maybe there are things you need to speak out to somebody, that is why you're married. That is why you have a husband. You can speak to your husband, and you for God's sake, you can chat with your husband. The time you're using to chat with other men or a man, you can use that time to speak to your husband. You chat with your husband. That is why your husband is there for you. Speak out anything that is bothering you. you know so, and a lot of women will go and be telling other men about the problems they are having in their home, which is not even okay. It is not okay. What is that man going to do for you when you finish telling him? Nothing. you know so please avoid chatting with a man that is not your husband. It is not healthy for your marriage at all. It does not even speak well of you at all. As a woman that is married, you need to be a woman of diligence. you know so avoid all those things. If you are a woman of diligence, avoid doing all of those things. Avoid borrowing money from other men. Avoid spending a lot of time with other men. Avoid chatting with other men. Yeah, so please do this, and by God's grace, your marriage is going to stand out. Yeah, so I hope this video is helpful. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for watching my video, and please, I would love you to keep subscribing, because this is your way of supporting me. Yeah, so thank you so much. See you in my next video, and stay safe.